This is a video explains about adjective conjugations. Although this topic is typically introduced early in Japanese learning, many learners struggle to retain the basic conjugation, leading to errors even at the intermediate level. There are several ways to modify nouns, and using an adjective is one of them. In Japanese, there are two types of adjectives: I adjective and na adjectives, and they conjugate differently. 大きい、小さい、高い、安い、新しい and 古い are examples of I adjectives. Na adjective examples are にぎやかな、静かな、便利な and 有名な. As you can see, I adjectives end with I and na adjectives end with na. There are more I adjectives than na adjectives. Here are examples to show how these can modify nouns. 大きい車 big car. いい人 good person. 暖かい部屋 warm room. きれいな花 beautiful flower. 有名な絵 famous painting. Now, let's look at the negative form. For I adjective, stem is the part before I, so basically you can replace I with kunai. For example, 悪い is an I adjective meaning bad, and waru is the stem, so the negative form is 悪くない. Here's one exception case. I means good, and according to the rule, it should become ikunai, but we actually say yokunai. I is the only adjective with this kind of exception. In fact, yoi is the written form of the adjective for good, while I is the colloquial form. However, both are commonly used. That said, actual conjugation exists only for yoi, so that is the form used for conjugation. Here's another example. 涼しい means to describe the cool temperature of the atmosphere, and the negative form is 涼しくない. Let's negate na adjectives too. Na adjective has two forms. One is to replace na with じゃない. The other one is to replace na with ではない. We use both of them, but ではない is more formal compared to じゃない. For example, 有名な means famous, and the negative form is 有名じゃない and 有名ではない. Let's look at examples. 面白くない本 uninteresting book. 安くないカバン not inexpensive bag. 便利じゃない街 inconvenient town. It sounds a bit awkward in English, but in Japanese it's slightly more acceptable. Nevertheless, you can always negate the entire sentence instead of negating the adjective. Using an adjective at the end of a sentence can be tricky, as it also conjugates based on tense and whether or not it's in affirmative form. Additionally, Japanese sentences have different types of endings, such as a plain form and the long form. The long form ends with des and mas. In this video, I'll focus only on the des mas form. Let's look at an example. このリンゴは大きいです. This apple is big. This is using an I adjective 大きい, and you can simply add des to it. Here's another I adjective example. 今日は暖かいです. Today is warm. Now, here's an example using a na adjective. この花はきれいです. This flower is beautiful. Please note that きれいな is a na adjective meaning beautiful or clean. As you can see, you need to remove na, then add des to it. このパーティーは賑やかです. This party is lively. So you can see the patterns here. For I adjective, add des, and for na adjective, replace na with des. How about negative sentences? このリンゴは大きくないです。This apple is not big. As you can see, you will simply use the negative form, then add des to it. Here's another example. 今日は暖かくないです。Today is not warm. Now for not adjective, it has four forms. この花はきれいじゃないです。This flower is not beautiful. This one simply adds des to the negation of the not adjective. Since there is another negation, you can also do the same with that as well. この花はきれいではないです。This version is more formal than the first expression. We also have this. この花はきれいじゃありません。This is because ないです is equivalent to ありません。So we also have この花はきれいではありません。Basically, じゃ is the same meaning as では, but the latter is more formal, and ないです is the same as ありません, and the latter is more formal. So these four sentences are equivalent, but the most formal one is the last one, and the most casual one of those four is the first one. The past tense is the one which students have trouble with, especially the past tense of E adjective. Past affirmative is stem plus かったです, and past negative is stem plus くなかったです. For example, おいしい means delicious, and its past affirmative is おいしかったです, and the negative is おいしくなかったです. Here are more examples. 昨日相撲を見ましたが、とても面白かったです。I watched small wrestling yesterday, but it was very interesting. 面白い is an E adjective that means fun and interesting. Although it's often interpreted as interesting, it also implies a sense of fun. Therefore, please be careful when you are using this word. If you are talking about something sad or serious, even if it's interesting, you should avoid using this word as it comes across as disrespectful. Here's another example. 先週はあまり寒くなかったですね。It wasn't that cold last week. 寒い means cold, but you can only use it when you talk about temperature of the air. あまり with a negative ending means not much. For not adjective, past affirmative is simply adding でした to the stem. As for negative, here are four types. Just like non-past negative, you can say じゃなかったです。ではなかったです。じゃありませんでした。ではありませんでした。なかったです and ありませんでした are the same meaning, and じゃ and では are the same meaning, so you have four combinations. Here are some examples. この宿題は簡単じゃありませんでした。This homework wasn't easy. 簡単な is a not adjective, so the past tense negative is 簡単じゃありませんでした。Of course, you can use the other variation as well. Here's another example. 今日弟の部屋はきれいでした。Today, my little brother's room was clean. きれいな is a not adjective, meaning beautiful or clean. Usually, when it's used with a room, it means clean rather than beautiful. I'm sure that you will learn this content in your class, but it's a good idea to review it to ensure you understand it. Past tense E adjectives in particular are something many people have trouble remembering. The key is to practice saying the conjugations out loud so that your mouth remembers them without conscious effort. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. You can also participate in daily quizzes from the community section. If you have any requests for Japanese grammar to be covered, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.